Hey, what's up everyone? If you haven't noticed yet, things are completely crazy and topsy-turvy. From weather in Hawaii looking like what should be weather in Alaska, to weather in Alaska being warm, and to California experiencing record snow, bombogenesis bomb cyclones moving across the United States from the west to the east coast, extremely warm weather and warm winter, then turning into, when we hit near springtime in March, the temperatures are going to plummet with wind chills in the single digits. Or areas of Arizona out in the deserts being lush and having lots of rain and snow. But right now, big time weather anomaly, a snow anomaly took place in Greece, disrupting roads and sea, air, transport with a Greece blizzard. And winds are blowing fish out of the sea, frozen by the way. Several fish are frozen, and fish blowing out of the water in Malta. So I'd say around 63 miles per hour. I'll just round up. The winds are blowing. And if you haven't seen this already, have you seen this already? Apparently the 62 mile per hour winds in one area and another place over in Michigan. I figured it was Michigan right away because they get that every single year now. For me, that's sort of an ME, but maybe not for you. But an ice tsunami. Very, very, very impressive right there. An ice tsunami taking place in Michigan. I assumed it was Michigan. I'm not sure, but I know Michigan gets that every single year, most every year now since like 2011 or 2012. Had to add a little bit of fun to the video, but this impressive ice tsunami shows chunks traveling over a retaining wall alongside the Niagara River Parkway. So this is in Niagara River, and it's an ice tsunami. Hurricane-force winds caused blizzard conditions and widespread power outages in Michigan. Michigan dealing with a major blizzard with hurricane winds, and this bomb cyclone is very furious right now over the it sounds like I'm saying it's angry. This bomb cyclone is very furious right now, very angry. I've been into Jay Leno a lot lately, but this furious bomb cyclone that dropped the first snow in years onto Los Angeles and Las Vegas. Los Angeles, California, Las Vegas getting record amounts of snow, now roaring across the eastern United States, creating widespread chaos and electrical outages. This was as of Sunday at 8:30 a.m. This was where the low pressure system creating this bomb cyclone was. See, a lot of what I remember low pressure systems being mainly responsible for the cold weather and snow systems, and the high pressure systems were more responsible for the warm weather systems. And a lot of times in our area in the wintertime, you don't get enough, there's not enough. A lot of people will say, man, if this was snow, and if it was snow, if what we received, all this rain we've been receiving was snow, we would be in for a world of hurt. We would be in for a lot of hazardous conditions and electrical outages. But a lot of times in areas like Tennessee, you don't receive, there's not enough moisture in the atmosphere in the lower elevations to provide snow when it's colder. When it's colder, the air is more dense, and it's like, well, and it's not as humid, and there's not as much moisture usually in our area. That's why it's so rare when you do get a major snow event. But a lot of people stated that if this were snow, what we were receiving, then we would be in huge trouble. Be that as it may, yes, that is true. If it were snow, we would be in for a world of hurt. But a lot of times, not always. Now, sometimes you do get snow conditions, major snow, but a lot of times the atmosphere does not push that moisture down far enough into our area, and it stays further up, so the snowfall doesn't make it down as far. When you're cooler and the air is more cool down below, a lot of times there's just not enough moisture to go along with it to produce a lot of snowfall and a lot of precipitation. But when it's warm, the atmosphere is very, very humid, and it's been very warm lately, so we've been having lots of rain. Now that, you get more precipitation in our area when it's that way, and it's been very devastating for many people with rock slides, landslides, mudslides, sinkholes, all kinds of things. The interstate roads just falling in, collapsing, people's homes being destroyed, and businesses, devastating many areas, and there's been a lot of that, and it's been quite something to deal with for many people in Tennessee and other areas of the Carolinas it's been quite something. So, and worldwide, I mean, there are prophetic events happening worldwide. Not just biblical prophecy being fulfilled, but events happening, ancient prophecies happening, that there are events happening worldwide right now. And I do realize that climate and weather modification and geoengineering and bioengineering does not help the human condition and the climate condition at all. And biological conditions that, you have bio-warfare and everything. That's not, none of that is helping this world whatsoever. None of it's helping it at all. And that's actually adding to the chaos we see. Chemtrails and everything, or contrails, these chemicals going into the atmosphere and creating fake clouds and fake storms. Weather modification takes place, and they just showed it straight from the horse's mouth a few weeks ago from NASA, from NASA.gov, NASA View, Worldview. Their website showed the chemtrails in the sky, and you can actually see them producing. You can see them producing. They are producing clouds, and it causes false weather, fake weather, and it goes too far, just as they did during the Korean Wars when they. And the technology wasn't as advanced then, but it was tested by the military, and they used it during those times. You can see it on YouTube and History. You can see it on the History Channel and on YouTube, various YouTube channels where you can look this up as well in the archives, if it's still available, where they actually used weather modification, climate engineering during the Korean and during the Asian wars we were having with Asia at that time, and the Japanese wars. And we created monsoons, and then they in turn then used that against us. Just like Russia and the United States and other countries during the Obama administration, during the previous administration, were using back and forth weather warfare against each other, taking each other's snow and taking the weather and changing it. Messing with Mother Nature. Messing with nature has dire consequences, but there's evidence of it all over. And I always remember a low pressure system bringing cold weather. Low pressure, that was low pressure. Warm air masses would be brought with high pressure. High pressure brought warm air. And a lot of these things we've been dealing with a lot more commonly lately. I mean, the weather has definitely changed, and them messing with it doesn't help it at all. Imagine all of the rock slides and landslides happening underneath, the erosion happening underneath the ground. That's going to cause a lot more earthquakes, I mean, because of all of this rain we've been having. These tropical type climates that are happening in places that never were before. Flooding happening worldwide. Disasters and pestilences. And there's been major earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, unrest and civil unrest, and wars. Rumors of wars, just like Matthew states. There's been fighting and tensions rising, but yet at the same time, world peace deals taking place, but kind of a false peace in some cases. Other cases, legitimately trying to make peace, but the other countries, who knows? They're probably just going, I mean, all kinds of things. You can't tell what's really happening. You can't really see what's happening because it's just, there's so much taking place. It's hard to keep up with, really. And there's so many things, and I wish I could leave a link to all of it below, but there's so many peace deals, but there's also so much tension and so many earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, hundreds of them. There's all kinds of disasters happening, and I just try to report on all of it, but it's hard to do so. I mean, it's hard to keep up with. There's so much happening. But right here, they said California's next big one could now be a volcanic eruption. The United States Geological Survey has warned us that I sound like Kennedy. A volcanic eruption could wind up happening over in California. The USGS warns that California's disaster could come from a volcanic eruption after they discovered a huge volcanic lava caldera underneath California. This is a warning. A warning from the USGS, United States Geological Survey. It sounded like Kennedy there, or Mayor Quimby from The Simpsons, which was modeled after President Kennedy. But forget the San Andreas Fault, they said. Besides the earthquakes, there could be a huge volcanic eruption. And, when you think about Yellowstone, that's another threat. Temperature anomalies surging. Temperature surging. Record February. We had by the way, we not only had the warmest February and the warmest winter days on record here in the United States. The UK, well, in Tennessee, and the UK had the warmest February on record. So about 70 degrees Fahrenheit was the temperature recorded in the United Kingdom. So 71 degrees is what they had for Monday and Tuesday. So record warmth there. Record cold in some places. It looks like mini ice age is happening in some places, while record warmth and warming is happening, you know, in other places. I mean, it's all chaotic. All kinds of chaotic, crazy things happening worldwide. I'm going to put the hashtags and the information below, and you can check this Twitter page out. Also, feel free to check out my Twitter page. I retweet a few of these things, and just whatever's on my mind, whatever I feel like tweeting at the moment. I'll put the link below to those. And my PayPal, feel free to support me. And I thank you all very much. If you like a shout out when you do donate to my channel, I'll give you a shout out. If you would like one, let me know. And I just wanted to share what's going on. And they are messing with nature. But at the same time as what we had the warmest and wettest February on record. Tennessee had the warmest and wettest February ever on record. It was the rainiest ever. So, and more is on the way for Thursday and Friday. So definitely things happening. Definitely something to watch. I just bring the updates, and I thank you for watching. Peace, and stay as safe as possible, everyone. Thanks to the Strange Sounds Twitter page for posting all of this. I'll leave the link below to it. Feel free to donate, subscribe, like, share. I love you all. Thank you so much. Peace. Bye.